Munch Munch Alliance movie review.
Munch Munch. Munch Munch Alliance movie review.
We did that already.
Alright, so this is the Munch Munch Alliance movie review, guys. Today we're going to be reviewing Captain Marvel by Marvel Studios, part of the MCU, the 23rd movie in the franchise, I think.
Quite possibly.
I don't remember. We probably should have put notes on that stuff in front of us, but whatever. It follows Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. She's an Earthling that gets bombarded by some radiation that's derived from the Cosmic Cube, the Tesseract, and she gets kidnapped by some aliens. Let me try and do a spoiler-free review.
It's okay. We just write spoilers on the video.
Yeah, spoilers, you guys. Yeah. So, she gets kidnapped by aliens, raises their weapon because she had so much power in her, then they realized her potential. They didn't want her to use it because they were afraid of her. She comes back down to Earth, and she realizes she's a badass. I thought that the first act of the movie was kind of boring. Like, I thought Carol Danvers was really lame in the beginning, or Veers, I should say, Veers. I guess that's what she was going for. She was, like, amnesiac, but, like, even the amnesia storyline kind of, I thought was a bit lame. Then when she got to Earth, I thought it started to get really good. Once she got to Earth, the 90s references ended up becoming a bit much. They ended up doing a lot, 90s references, probably more than they needed to. Like, that first Blockbuster Radio Shack reference was pretty funny. But the Skrulls, they made them like these super sympathetic characters, and that's not. I don't want to like just go like, oh, this is the way they are in the comics, this way not, because I don't really care too much as long as it's still good, and they were still good in the movie. I like the way they played out, but I just have a lot of questions for future sequels that we could talk about later. Overall, she ended up being really OP. She was super powerful. Once she's unleashed, there was no threats. She was unstoppable. I thought that was pretty cool. There's not too many unstoppable characters like that in Marvel. Like, other than Thor, maybe. Overall, I'd probably give it, like, a 4 out of 7. Like, it was pretty... Fair, yeah. I thought it was pretty average, but still solid. Solid beginnings. I think her biggest weakness is that she's just not that interesting of a character. Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. And she's better when she has a team of super-powered people to work off of. And that is a Dr. Froom's review.
Did you give your number review already?
4 out of 7.
4 out of 7. My review is kind of have some of the same sentiments. I watched it last night. Where's my list? 1 second, people. But I'm not gonna go over the movie again. Fumes did a pretty good job of going over the basic, the premise or whatever. I started off with the Skrulls came to the Earth in the 90s. I was kind of iffy, I guess. That made me start thinking which MCU character could be a Skrull, but then it turned out they're good guys. So that that went out the fucking window.
We'll talk about our theories later.
They made me like Captain Marvel again. I honestly hated her from the comics. I became a fan again of Captain Marvel.
She's really not likable in the comics either.
No, she's terrible in the comics. What else I wrote? This came out. I learned something new today. I guess the mother was named Maria Rambeau, and the daughter is Monica Rambeau. And Monica Rambeau is the second Captain Marvel before Carol Danvers. Another thing I agree with Fumes is the 90s references is too fucking much. The fucking music was driving me nuts.
Yes, good call out.
The music was driving me nuts.
There were some moments where the music just didn't need to be there.
No, not at all. Another thing that kind of noticed was pretty funny. They gave Nick Fury a brand new face, but that motherfucker still moved like a 60-year-old. That shit was...
Yeah, you're right.
That shit was not... He looked like 25, 30. He's moving like he's 60 and it hurts. Nick Fury was cool as fuck in that movie. That made me want to come up for a topic for our next podcast, episode 11. Nick Fury versus James Bond. We get into that later.
God.
Obviously, the 2A pages from Infinity War, if you guys saw that. Skrulls being a comedy relief, like I said, fucked me up.
They were exactly a comic relief.
One Skrull. They were fucking hilarious. And the beach, like, oh, that's my look. Or like
No, he's like this one's already taken.
they were funny. And
They had definitely a couple. It's like you're the science guy.
What else? Their Wookiee call. That was weird. What else I got? A part I found funny was when they were scanning the threats. It was like species, feline, threat.
No, it was Cleflorian.
Oh, that's what it said? Cleflorian?
Yeah, Cleflorian.
That's a feline. Okay, that's on the point. Now, another topic I got from this movie is I want to
look those up afterwards.
Next podcast is the coolest Kree weapon, because there's a lot of cool Kree weapons that team had a lot of cool weapons.
Yep.
I think they were probably trying to push something with the daughter. Now that I know that her name is Monica, that makes more sense.
Yep.
How Nick Fury was like, oh, maybe when you get the powers, you could meet your aunt up there or something into that fuck sentiment. What else?
Definitely foreshadowing.
Yeah, it's definitely shadowing of the foreskin.
That's not what
That thing that really made me upset
means.
was that Nick Fury got the Avenger name from a fucking jet.
I didn't have a problem with that. I knew some people would have a problem with that. I didn't have a problem with that.
Not the movie was like, oh, we're gonna avenge them. We're gonna avenge these people. Like, not from a jet, because that was Cameron Danvers' jet, and that gave Samuel L. Jackson the idea.
I thought that little detail was better than another detail, which I'll talk about later, unless Buckets brings it up in his review.
Oh, one more thing. We need a buddy cop of Nick Fury and Coulson.
Yes.
A whole movie. Just
absolutely.
Those two. Those two are fucking cool.
I agree 100%.
But yeah, I'll also give it a 4 out of 7.
I want to see a Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury movie.
That'd be amazing, because Nick Fury's cool. 4 out of 7. I feel like same things that Fume said. It wasn't really mind blowing. Everything was expected. It wasn't, it was some funny parts here and there, but 4 out of 7 I feel like was fair for this movie.
I actually enjoyed the movie. I thought it was
we enjoyed it.
Not as much as I did.
Probably.
You know why? I give it a 6 out of 7.
That is a high score. Oh, thank you.
It's about 2 numbers higher than you guys, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I'll explain the 6 I'm giving it instead of the 7. I'm saying that because, yeah, the beginning was a little bit cheesy. The whole little fighting training session with, what's his name, homeboy?
Fucking Jude Law.
Yeah, Jude Law, that whole little training scene, I thought I was kind of weak. Her little tiny fist, like, oh, I got the energy, I'm gonna punch you. That whole little thing.
Yeah, the fist thing was kind of lame, too.
I can appreciate the fact that she did all that training for this movie and to get her body up built up. But some of that stuff is a little slow, and I'm just like, come on, Captain Marvel. You're not using your powers, fair enough, but you gotta be faster. So for that, I'm gonna give you a 6. Moving right along here, I guess the movie was good in general. There was a little bit of corny things. I'm not gonna say I didn't really hear the music because I was paying more attention to the movie. But I thought everything was fine. I didn't think the music had a problem. I don't have a problem with the 90s music. I was like, you know what? The settings in the 90s, they can't throw any other music unless you're gonna go farther back.
But for every scene. Does have to be a 90s throwback song.
It reminded me of an indie movie a couple times.
Like I said, I didn't really pay attention to the music, so it didn't bother me that much. It didn't bother me at all. I didn't pay attention to it. As far as for the other 90s little Easter eggs, like the Blockbuster one was fine. I thought the CD thing was pretty funny. I think they could have maybe threw in a floppy disk drive. I think that would have been a little funnier. Yeah, I think the references were pretty funny. Let me see. The nostalgia with the whole Nick Fury, when is his eye gonna get poked out thing, was real for that. I'm like, okay, obviously this cat is gonna rip his eye out, but when is it gonna happen?
You knew that was the cat? You knew the cat was gonna do it?
Yeah, I knew that cat was gonna do it. I mean,
I thought it was a joke.
He's petting the cat. Like, why else is Samuel L. Jackson gonna pet a cat?
I thought they were just joke. I thought they were just gonna make jokes that the cat was gonna do it, but they weren't gonna have the cat do it. But then the cat actually did it.
Nah, Nick Fury ain't petting no cat, so that happened. His eye finally got ripped out. I was like, all right. That's cool.
No, he get ripped out. He got infected.
I mean,
Yeah.
He didn't clean it, that dirty bastard.
Basically, he ain't got no eyeball. So, what else? Honestly, I'm gonna have to see it a second time. I always need that second time just to catch some things that I didn't catch the first time. But like I said, I'll give it a 6 out of 7. I thought it was kind of cool they threw the Tesseract in there, how that really came to Earth and how it got. Well, the weird thing is, and I don't really know how this. I'm guessing Marvel got the Tesseract after Captain America lost it. I don't really understand the timeline. Maybe I have to just look again, but I don't really understand the timeline
you're right.
between
that's
Captain America dropping it and everybody picking it up.
I can't figure out it either.
How the fuck did it sit in a lunchbox but it burnt through the ground in a plane? Remember that, Captain America?
Yeah,
Well,
they just finished using it.
Oh, okay. Because that's what was in a lunchbox.
I'm just making up excuses because that didn't make sense. I'm like, how is that lunchbox okay to hold it?
Made no sense.
And I mean, it was the Fonz, the power of the Fonz has protected it, I believe. I don't know. Yeah, that was pretty good, interesting. As far as those weapons, you're saying like rep and review. I guess we do later. But I think, what's that guy that was working for Ronan the Accuser?
The black dude?
Yeah, what's his name?
I have no idea.
Well, that dude, I like to see how they interact later in the MCU. You know what I mean?
Dead.
I believe he's still alive. He's still alive, right?
He's dead. He died in Guardians 1.
I just rated all my Marvel movies.
Well, rip to him. How did he die? I don't remember.
Groot, I think, killed him. Am I right?
Which dude?
The black dude. I don't remember his name.
He didn't die.
He died in part 1. He died in Guardians 1.
He didn't die in part 1.
They left him on the planet.
Took all that shit out of his head and he went down.
No, I'm pretty sure he did not die.
I think what happened was he was trying to capture Star-Lord, and then Star-Lord ended up escaping, and they just left him on that planet.
No, I feel like he's dead. I feel like they took that shit out of his head.
Oh no, you know what? They didn't leave him on the planet. He didn't escape. They captured him, and they brought him to jail. And then that's the last time we see anything of that guy. So
I don't remember that guy in jail at all. I remember his head thing getting ripped out and him just falling to the ground.
Nah, he's still alive.
I don't think that was him. I don't think he died.
In Guardians 1, he was fighting somebody. I think it was either Star-Lord or Drax.
Well, we'll have that review for you guys later. We'll go back in time. We'll fix it. But, yeah. 6 out of 7.
Yeah, that cat, man. That's canon now. The cat scratched his eye out. That's, I don't know how I feel about that.
I guess also touching base on what you said about the name of the Avengers. I thought it was fine that, they actually took that from a plane.
That was her code name.
It's a lot better, I think, than what they could have came up with. What was that?
Korath is his name.
What was the name of the initial plan of action he had?
The Protector?
What was it?
The Protector Initiate.
In the first Avengers movie, they had Tony Stark come up with the name. And now they had Tony Stark.
It was always the plan that Nick Fury brought to Tony Stark.
Yeah. Yeah, that first initial scene with Nick Fury and Tony Stark at the end.
He's like, he's on putting together a team.
Yeah, putting a team, yeah.
So Tony Stark is the first one he came to, but...
And then he came to him again. Was it the second movie?
I don't remember. Probably Avengers, was it?
It was the end of the second movie. He came to him and he sat down.
That was the end of Incredible Hulk, where he's like, I'm putting together a team.
In that room? Was it in that room where he had the desk? Was it the one with Edward Norton?
Yeah.
Yeah, Edward Norton.
He's dead. I was right. He died in Guardians 1.
He's definitely dead.
He's dead.
Well, rip to him. But I guess the rest of the team are still out there.
Ronan's dead.
That big dude.
Ronan's definitely dead.
His whole race is dead, so all the blue people are probably dead.
All the Kree aren't dead.
Ronan was Kree?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Kree.
He blue?
You didn't see the whole...
Half the Kree were blue.
That was the whole basis of the movie.
Most of the real Kree in the comics were all blue.
Didn't they die? So why was he
Because
getting his revenge?
His people were... No, he's just... In Guardians of the Galaxy, Ronan was a radical. He was like a religious radical that had a whole following of people that were like his like personal army.
Yeah, he was trying to take over and destroy.
But there were still other Kree. there was a whole civilization worth of them. He just had a small army.
His okay, so his people, meaning his crew, died.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought I meant like his race.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that was his whole thing. So I like how they kind of worked that in. They also made his helmet a lot bigger, unless his head was smaller.
He looked young as fuck too.
He looked weird.
Yeah, he was super.
I thought he looked weird. Like he didn't have any of the face paint.
Just a blue guy.
He just I don't know, that weird awkward look. Some of the jokes to me fell flat too. I feel like
it could have been worse. They could have given us some more comedy jokes.
I feel like they could have gave Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, better lines. A lot of like she didn't really have
cheesy.
Yeah, she didn't really have anything cool to say. Sometimes she was like witty, but most of the time she was just kind of like the strong silent type.
They tried to make her too playful.
I don't know. It was weird. They couldn't figure one way to make her. It seemed like so they just tried to make her. A couple different ways.
She was like Spider-Man for a bit. She was like Captain America for a bit. She was like she has all these different personalities of the Avengers.
I just think that goes back to Captain Marvel in the comics doesn't really have any personality that you can really think of like as.
No, just being an asshole.
Then again, you had to go and meet. You had to be in her mind. Like she didn't know who she was. She was still discovering herself. You know,
I feel like they had to make.
She lost all her memory.
They had to make the movie that way.
So you have to put yourself in that character situation. You know what I mean?
So having no memory gives you multiple personalities. You saying?
Well, she didn't know who she was. She didn't know whether to be happy, whether to be sad.
Well, she knows her emotions.
Yeah.
Jesus, but yes.
I thought she got lost in her past.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what one of my favorite scenes in the movie was actually? We should talk about our favorite scenes.
Oh, go on.
Was the scene where they first capture her, Captain Marvel, the Skrulls, and they have like that her hooked up to the computer, and they're going through her memories, and they could tell like something's wrong. You could hear them talking over it, and you could
no go back.
Yeah, go back. And you see her like you hear that? Like she's in her memories and she's slowly like fighting it. Like I always like stuff like that, like inside people's heads, like weird like trippy shit like that.
Inception.
And I thought they did a pretty good job with that. Her fighting back, and then like when they found out that her memories were altered by the Kree, and like that's actually a problem I had. I'll let you guys go with your favorite scenes in a second, but it was too predictable, calling out like things that are gonna happen next.
That's why it's a 4 out of 7.
I felt like they could have did the memories, but did the memories inside of a memory. So like, don't show us this machine where her head is being blah blah blah. Maybe she gets hit by like some kind of electric gun that jogs her memory, or maybe like there's an electrical surge and a little thing was on her neck, and then that sparked her memory. You know,
I forgot.
And then that was her remembering that they did something to her in the machine. You know, like I don't know. I feel like they could have been more creative with it and just given us a mind control machine. You know. Like, how is that actually going to work with her powers anyways, you know? I feel like that was kind of BS, but whatever.
What, the little thing on her neck?
Yeah, that and the mind control machine. I don't know.
Well, they weren't mind controlling her, they altered her memories.
Yeah, it wasn't mind control. They just fucked with it. And she also had amnesia, so that helped. But fucking my favorite scene was the end scene, the fighting. When she just destroyed all of fucking Ronan's missiles.
No problem.
She was like, what the fuck happened? But I came up with a question that I just thought of right now. How the fuck did they get the Tesseract out of the cat?
You didn't see the...
You didn't see the ending?
No.
You didn't watch it?
No.
They had two end credit scenes.
Spoiler.
The last credit. I actually sent you the picture. I took a dope photo of it in the movie. But the cat threw up the Tesseract.
Yeah. The second end credit scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Question answered. Thank you, fellas.
Did you see the first end credit scene?
No, it just stopped after the movie.
So the first end credit, spoilers, you guys. But I'm sure Sensei or Saiyan Sensei wants to know.
Yes.
The first end credit scene was very Infinity War focused.
Oh,
Avengers focused.
Can you explain it for me, please? Spoiler, fans, spoilers.
Yes. It starts off with Captain America, I should say, and what's her name? Black Widow.
White hair Black Widow shaving Captain America?
I don't remember. I think she was blonde hair Black Widow still. I honestly can't remember. I think she might have had black hair. Anyways, doesn't matter. They were looking at the communicator, they were talking, and then Rhodey comes in and tells them that the communicator stopped working, And so they're like, you need to like reboot it. We need to figure it out. And then Bruce Banner comes down and is like, you think that's a good idea? Like, we don't even know who that was trying to signal. And Natasha's like, well, Nick Fury did. And Cap's like, that's all the reason we need. And then they turn around, and Captain Marvel's standing behind him like, where's Fury? And that's.
Is she wearing the outfit?
She's wearing a newer version of the outfit. She looks like a little different. She has more gold.
More tight? Is it like not more tight, but is it less looking like a leather jacket, more like a spandex-ish?
It still looks the same.
It was the same one. I think it was just more battle worn because she had just came back from dropping those.
It definitely had more gold on it. Like her shoulders were. I remember that specifically because like her outfit in the movie didn't have gold shoulders, and the one in the end she had gold shoulder pads.
Oh, one thing. How did that little girl know how to use that thing on her wrist?
That's what I said. That also said that.
She was like, "Oh, this is. I'm gonna pull all three of these colors like that." She just learned real quick.
Kids, man.
Oh, she was like,
kids, intuitive little shits.
Had those '90s iPads.
Yeah, right. That's before like iPads and shit. Before touchscreens, tablets, and fucking everything.
That's funny.
one of the things that you said about those missiles, when she was having that fun and saving the planet, her power just shot up from. It went from a 0. No, I was saying it went from a 60 to like over 9,000 in a matter of
over 9,000.
taking that thickness off your neck. I'm just like, okay, she can get punched in the face and fall down, but now her powers are unlocked and she just take on missiles, like war type missiles from a
planet destroying missiles.
Destroying missiles in the chest and
from the future.
I'm just like, this power scale is off, but you know what? I went with it. It's whatever. It was a fun
strong, man.
And that's that she didn't even know how to control it, because they made that pretty obvious. Because they kept every time she used her powers, as when she took the neck thing off. Every time she used it, she was like wobbling and she like kept falling back, and they kept like they were pretty like pointing out like this is how powerful she is, and she doesn't even know how to use her powers yet. So
also
wait till she learns how to use it.
Hold on.
They saw the missiles from outside of the planet. So entering the atmosphere, they would pick up a lot more speed. There would be a lot more fire. And you're not going to bounce a missile off your chest. I don't care how strong you are.
She didn't bounce it off her chest. She moved with her hands.
She moved it with her hands.
The second missile, the first missile she caught, she threw it back while the trajectory was still on. The missile was still in launch. Maybe we'll go from there.
She's
second
really
missile,
strong, bro. I don't know where you're underestimating her strength.
In the space, and she just goes, ha, 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 and it just.
All right.
She just goes through it.
One, you're underestimating the character, and two, did any of you guys get a Super Saiyan vibe from that whole hair, the gold? Why can't they do that for a Dragon Ball Z movie?
Before we talk about Dragon Ball Z, there's a couple more things I want to talk about Captain Marvel.
I'm just saying, man. We're not talking about Dragon Ball Z.
I get what you're saying, but you get what I'm Super Saiyan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. They just, I don't know, man. If the Gundam movie ends up being...
No, fuck you. You can't tell no Dragon Ball Z and talk about Gundam.
If the Gundam movie ends up being good, maybe they can make a true to form Dragon Ball Z movie in America.
How you gonna say no Dragon Ball Z right now?
Well, I'm just saying, if they're gonna do movies, movie second year or something to look forward to. I'm just saying, putting it out there. Making One Piece movie would be dope. Just saying.
The Skrulls. I wanted to go back to the Skrulls real quick.
Go for it.
So we said they made them more of this like sympathetic, like they're refugees. I think the movie did that on purpose. Like they had the Kree. You thought they were the good guys at first. They were like the kind of beautiful looking aliens.
Yeah.
And the Skrulls were like ugly and shifty. They're shifty shapeshifters.
You think fucking Disney's throwing some.
And then they ended up being the sympathetic, good people. It's like you can't judge people just by the way they look, you know.
Can't judge a book by its cover.
I think they did that on purpose, but they made this, like I said, they made the Skrulls all sympathetic. Like, are they like? How do you think they're gonna do Secret Wars now? They're still dick. Like, the Skrulls are dickheads in the comics. They're like, they're like have a superiority complex. I remember reading Illuminati comic where they captured all of them. and they're like experimenting on Charles Xavier, and they're like, he's like, yeah, he's a mutant human. They call themselves Homo Superior, and then the Skrulls are just laughing like, superior, huh? And it's like, they're fucking dickheads.
Honestly, the Skrulls are one of the most annoyingest races, I think, in the galaxy. And they just portrayed them to be, you know...
comic relief, like most of almost.
Yeah, comic relief, and also, they're just so needy. I'm just like, alright, she's gonna help him, she's gonna, you know, give them what you need, and then she brings them in space, and I'm just like, oh... So this guy has a family, does he?
They didn't talk about...
He gets shot in the back, does he? Oh, I'm so sad.
They didn't talk about,
I hated them in the street clothes, too.
Super Skrull, either.
They look stupid in a sweater.
I was hoping they would talk about the Super Skrull.
He's still owned by Fox, but that's still in transition.
Is it?
Skrull's owned by Fox. Super Skrull. Sorry, excuse me.
Oh,
Super Skrull. They just got the rights to Skrull for this movie. They didn't get the Super Skrull rights.
Well, they can't do that. I mean, because, you know, we have Fantastic Four, so they can't really...
No, this movie wasn't made this year. The movie was made 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, they still had the rights.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They couldn't talk about it then.
Yeah.
They
got the Skrull rights.
You're not gonna just switch up the whole thing, you know.
Super Skrull.
But also,
last thing
you have to remember the origin of the Super Skrull. You know.
He's a Fantastic Four character for sure. Last thing I wanted to bring up was the Supreme Intelligence. They completely changed that character from the comics.
Demolished it.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it's just an AI. I don't know if it has like it must have some sort of physical like CPU mainframe somewhere. Whether or not that CPU mainframe is just some faceless like tower hard drive, or if it's actual like giant head alien being blob with like 10 eyes.
The way I saw it,
Tentacle
how
monster.
they did it, and I think they saved themselves by doing it this way too. They didn't give it any definite shape or form. There's no definite voice. So in the future, they can, you know, make it subjected to however they want. Also, I didn't really find it appealing that the energy that, I guess, what's it called again?
The photon energy?
No, the energy of this being.
What being?
The
Supreme Intelligence?
Thing. Yeah, the Supreme Intelligence. I didn't find it appealing that, okay. First of all, why is this Supreme Intelligence on this ship? Like, how is this little thing you can just do right there?
I don't think it's on the ship.
AI.
It's like a
Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. It was just really weird. It was on the ship. There was a place because she had to sit on that little planet. They
got those everywhere.
That was the modem. That was the connection port.
They have those in like most places in that place just to fucking communicate with the Supreme Intelligence.
Yeah, but I mean, all around it was what it was.
It wasn't a terrible movie.
You still think it's a 6 out of 7 though?
Yeah, I still give it a 6 out of 7. I like it.
So yeah, that was the Captain Marvel review. This is Dr. Fumes, and signing off.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We're gonna have more reviews for you guys, maybe TV shows eventually. You know, shout out to all the Marvel heads out there.
Well, this is Bucket Murphy. Thanks for watching. Or listening. I guess you're listening. So yeah.
All right.